Relax, everybody. I know mummy and daddy are fighting, but everything's going to be all right. Now, I'm sure unless you've been living under a rock, you know exactly what's going down at the moment, and I've waited just long enough to record this video for the first hints of resolution, which seemed inevitable. Hence, I could have recorded this hours ago, but I waited until now. In case you missed it, today, in the last 6 or so hours, Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been feuding publicly over what Elon Musk would describe as extremely abominable, egregious, wasteful bill with an enormous amount of spending, which will essentially undo all of the work of the Department of Government Efficiency. And Elon Musk, being a highly principled man, is willing to die on his sword for this one. And he's currently applying maximum pressure on Trump, Republicans, everybody, to cut a huge amount of the fat, the waste in this bill. I will repeat that. Elon's goal right now, obviously, is to apply maximum pressure to trim the fat out of this wasteful, quote, big, beautiful bill. The two have been going tit for tat on social media. Musk on X, by the way, shout out, it'll be world record all-time high usage on X for sure today. Isn't that pretty funny, right? Massive spat, big benefit to X. These are two alpha dogs going at it. But you have to understand that neither of these guys are going to take this stuff too personally. After all, the current vice president for Donald J. Trump previously referred to Trump as an idiot, also describing Trump as reprehensible. Caitlin Collins, moderating from the Crisis News Network. I remember watching these debates. She was absolutely rude, abrasive, obnoxious, unfair, just a total see you next Tuesday to Trump. And I mean, it was outrageous, such unfair treatment. Yet immediately after the debate, and this was a really telling insight into Trump's personality, he immediately went over, shook her hand, and the hot mic I heard with my own ears, him say to her something along the lines of, "Great job tonight, you did well." To the person who was attacking him, treated him unfairly, and, quote, moderated one of the most lopsided and unfair, politically driven attacks under the veil of a fair, unbiased presidential debate I've ever seen. And he literally went up immediately after she'd been attacking him for the entire night, completely unfair, and congratulated her on doing a good job. One more time, this is a principle-driven move by Elon Musk. He's all in on preventing this enormous, wasteful bill going through as is. And I mentioned earlier in the intro, I waited just long enough to record this because I figured this might happen. Elon Musk already signaling that mummy and daddy are not getting a divorce. I'm not going to read all the posts, by the way, but some context here, and this is why we're reading this right now. Alaska posts, "This is a shame, this back and forth, e.g. Musk and Trump feuding publicly. You are both better than this. Cool off and take a step back for a couple of days." By the way, great advice. Musk responded to this. By the way, he didn't have to respond to this, but he did, and he knows everyone's going to see this. Good advice. Also adding some context to the post he was replying to, "Okay, we won't decommission Dragon." Now, this is good advice. Musk's made his position very clear, exerted enormous pressure on Trump, Republicans, everybody who wants to push through this wasteful bill. The job's now done. Hasn't minced his words, burned plenty of bridges, and is acknowledging the back and forth, the public feuding is a shame. Trump and Musk are both better than this, and cool off and take a step back for a couple of days is good advice. Now, whether or not Musk takes this advice completely is a different matter, but this is a positive sign. In fact, while we're recording, I'm going to have a look at some of Musk's recent replies because I've got a feeling there might be a few more light-hearted comments now that he's gone on his rant, his post-bender. Let's see here. He's just replied to Bill Ackman. "I support Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and they should make peace for the benefit of our great country. We are much stronger together than apart." Okay, so I guarantee, I haven't read this yet. We're doing this in real time, but I figured Musk is going to say something along the lines of, "Yes, I agree. There might also be the caveat, we need to stop the wasteful bill going through, but otherwise I agree, blah, 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 blah." And to be clear, Musk will not back down. He's going to continue to do whatever he can to stop this wasteful bill going through, but he acknowledges the public feuding isn't great. And by the way, earlier today I saw some guy whose account handle is SMR420, that's weird, post, "The makeup sex is going to be wild." Good post. Almost like he could see this coming. All right, so drum roll, please. I'm not going to edit this out no matter what the response is, but let's just see. I figured it might be worth looking at some of his recent replies now, because that was the first signal. This is when I began recording, and obviously time's ticking now. But this had just gone live, this post, and then this reply, as I'm recording this right now, 21 minutes ago. I see this, I'm like, okay, great. Now, I suspect there's going to be a series of responses to posts like this. Chill the fuck out, relax, guys. This isn't helpful. And Musk's probably going to be engaging and saying, yeah, fair enough, but still too much spending in this bill. So let's see if I'm right or embarrassingly wrong. In response to Bill Ackman, Heidi says, "Please Makeup, don't kiss though. Elon replying with a laughing emoji. So here we go, right? The sense of humor's out. Relax, chill out, everybody. Mummy and Daddy are gonna be fine. Yeet. Let's see here. I asked my audience who's the best political streamer right now. Asmongold wins. Well, this is totally irrelevant apparently, but we're in it anyway. Elon Musk responding true. Now, this is actually interesting as well. Funnily enough, it's actually relevant. For those who missed it, a few months ago, there was a public feud between Elon Musk and Asmongold, which has since been clarified. Asmon has actually volunteered his time to help X stream get into like the streaming market big time. Volunteering, I think, I don't know, half a month of his time, something like that. Musk said, great, let's do it. And now Musk is acknowledging Asmongold, clearly the best political streamer. A guy who literally a few months ago, Musk was publicly feuding with again. This is going to be fun to scroll through. Now there's one with Team America as the caption, and it has a SpaceX rocket in front of an American flag. And now here's one from Deus Ex Machina. What the fuck? Gordon Johnson, formerly the class clown. That role has been annexed now by a sentient hair gel money manager in California. Gordon Johnson writes, in response to, who is right? Musk is. And I'm not even a huge fan of the man. Now, this is obviously in relation to the enormous amount of wasteful spending in this bill. Elon's responded to this with my favorite emoji. So clearly, Musk is not taking himself too seriously, despite the extremely serious prior posts. And this is a pretty funny moment to see Gordon Johnson acknowledging, by the way, in all fairness, I've said this in the past about Gordon. On matters that do not pertain directly to Tesla or Elon Musk, Gordon actually says a lot of very sensible things. No, shock alert, I actually mean that. He has a pretty sound understanding of economics. For whatever reason, you can make up your own conspiracies as to why. It doesn't make a lot of sense on Tesla. But beyond that, I've said it many times. I've actually agreed with Gordon publicly in the past as well. Okay, let's see what else we got. Here we go. 23 minutes ago as I record this. If America goes broke, nothing else matters. Now, this one sentence explain to you everything that has happened in the last 6 or so hours today. Elon's actions, his comments, everything. This quote, big beautiful bill with an enormous amount of wasteful spending is likely to fast track that. Now, Trump's perspective here regarding the bill, there are a lot of good things there, including tax cuts, which will spur economic growth. But Musk is a much higher level thinker here. If America goes broke, nothing else matters. Therefore, do whatever is necessary to prevent a bill going through that could fast track America's bankruptcy. Everything else is a lower priority than that. Okay, I'm scrolling more. This is another great one. I saw this earlier before I recorded actually and posted on it. Let's see. JD Vance, the photo of Theo Von and him. Slow news day. What are we even going to talk about? As we can see, an hour ago, I posted a laughing, crying emoji. And it turns out half an hour later, Elon Musk has the same thing on his mind. So again, we're seeing that sense of humor come out now. And a repost from Elon prior to that, from Senator Rand Paul. Quote, I'd vote for this if we got real spending cuts, but this bill is the largest debt increase in US history. $5 trillion. That's like giving your 16-year-old a credit card, watching them rack up $2,000 on booze and gambling, then raising their limit to $10,000. Irresponsible. And again, even Gordon Johnson knows that he's right. So I'm actually going to refresh the page on Musk's replies now, just in case there's been a few more since I began recording. It's definitely not a slow news day today. So we'll see. Here we go. There is a new reply too. Yes. So Steve Bannon, I saw this a little bit earlier, basically calling for the Trump administration to seize SpaceX's assets or something along those lines. Feel free to fact check me. There may be a slight amount of nuance there. Former TDS stage 4, now seemingly almost in remission, sufferer Jason says, fuck this slob. Elon Musk has obviously replied, and I'm sure it'll be something along the lines of, yeah, fuck him, with the style of a fat hobo addicted to smack. Bannon is peak retard. This is 4 minutes ago. Here we go. More on Steve Bannon. More commentary from Musk here. Bannon is peak retard. He's going after Bannon now, and rightfully so. I mean, can you imagine the audacity to suggest that the administration should seize SpaceX? What the actual fuck? Okay, so, and now we're back to square one. Now we're going to take a quick detour, see a little bit of the back and forth that happened. Keeping in mind, I wanted to start by reassuring you folks, inevitably, that there will be no divorce and the makeup sex is going to be next fucking level. A few days ago, I saw this clip of Musk. Keeping in mind, I believe a day or two later, he formally wound up his time at the Department of Government Efficiency, now just on as an advisor. Let's see what Musk had to say. Was there a hint of what might be to come?
And, it's not like I agree with everything the administration does. So it's like I agree with much of what the administration does, but we have differences of opinion. There's things that I don't entirely agree with. But it's difficult for me to bring that up in an interview because then it creates a bone of contention. So then I'm a little stuck in a bind where I'm like, well, I don't want to, speak out against the administration, but I also don't want to take responsibility for everything the administration is doing.
The signs were there. And there's some amazing conspiracies also happening right now that this is just a form of 4 or even 5D chess being played between Trump and Musk. You guys can decide whether or not they carry any weight. But I saw this post on X with a caption, "This wouldn't be the first time Trump orchestrated a fake feud with a public figure to achieve a goal. Case in point, this is Megyn Kelly, who, by the way, is the very same who in 2016, I believe, presidential debates said to Trump, 'You've called women you don't like fat pigs and slobs,' to which this is all time, by the way, to which Trump immediately perked up. You knew he'd already thought of the comeback. And responds, 'Only Rosie O'Donnell,' to which Megyn Kelly did her best not to A, show how amused and or turned on she was by that hilarious, witty response. She wasn't a big fan of Trump back in the day. And where was she during his presidential campaign in 2024? Attending rallies. So let's see what she says about a potential alleged feud they'd had in public back in the day and what Trump had to say in response.
And it was really crazy, so crazy, Sean, because I walked out, we agreed, like, we're good. And
okay, so context there. She's obviously referring to the fact that they met privately. They had a conversation about some public feuding and they patched things up. Okay, so here's the bombshell part.
The last thing he said to me before I walked out of Trump Tower was, Megyn, it's not such a good thing if they're not talking about us. And I was like, oh my God, was this whole thing for show? Like, was he acting the whole time to generate buzz?
Now, to take the other side, or did they actually feud and then patch things up because Trump's reasonable and actually doesn't hold a grudge if people are also reasonable? And was that just a witty remark on the way out, just to help further patch things up? You be the judge. Now, I've got so many clips today, we're not going to watch them all, otherwise it'll be a 400-hour video. But just to give you a little bit of a feel of what's been happening, Greg Gutfeld, one of the main faces on Fox regarding Musk and Trump sparring a little bit earlier today, said, "I don't like it. I want it to stop. I want to tell them if they are both watching, knock it off. We are done with this." Jesse Waters, "They're just blowing off steam. Trump and Musk can patch things up. They almost have to." The king, the undisputed king of one-liners today, Senator Kennedy, said this.
He's frustrated. I think he believes, in my judgment correctly, that we're quickly becoming debt slaves, that Congress needs to relearn the magical healing power of no, and I agree with him. Having said that, I'm not ready to throw in the towel on this bill.
Going back a little bit earlier today as well, Trump posting this on Truth Social, quote, "I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase, and things far worse than that." Trump adding, and this is important, "I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again." So Trump explaining his reasoning, and you can understand his perspective. Tax cuts will fuel massive economic growth. However, there's also an enormous amount of waste in this bill. Musk is right. And massively increasing the deficit is just no good. Popping back to Musk's profile on X again, I swear, I'm almost certain there's going to be even more activity, but you never know. I won't edit this out if there hasn't been. First of all, I did just want to point out, in case you guys didn't see it, before the massive feuding really began, Musk polls his audience on X, "Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle?" 80-ish% of people responding yes. Now, caveat, this will probably be almost as difficult as colonizing Mars. In principle, great idea, but the US is just not set up for a third party. I had this conversation in great detail actually with Farzad prior to the presidential election in the US in 2024. Farzad really loving the idea of a third party. And in theory, it's great, but in terms of actually practically being able to do this and get enough support, possibly the single most challenging goal Elon Musk would ever have set and pursued. And I mean that literally. So think about the implication, not hyperbole. Anyway, let's see what's been happening on his feed. Here's another, so a laughing, crying emoji with a target. What's this? In response to Bjorn, who posted this meme. Elon does ketamine, Trump on Epstein's list, ex-active users. If you don't understand, I'm not even going to explain that one, but that's actually pretty funny. Okay, now let's check the latest replies in case there's been any more activity there. Oh, there has been. I know exactly where this is going already. I know this meme. Meanwhile, at DNC headquarters. Oh, fuck. See, Musk clearly with a solid sense of humour about this stuff. Panicky short-term traders, obviously not with much of a sense of humour here. Tesla stock imploding today. Not the biggest percentage loss in a single day, but in absolute dollar amount, it is actually the biggest daily decline in the history of Tesla. Market cap now just under $900 billion, with Robotaxis launching this fucking month. I mean, bro, if you wanted an opportunity served up on a silver platter, Jesus Christ. So never a dull moment with Musk. As I said, my strong conviction is these two gentlemen will patch things up. Musk has said his piece, made his position extremely clear, applied maximum pressure, and boy, oh boy, you better believe, drawn an enormous amount of attention to this wasteful bill. When even Gordon Johnson is agreeing publicly with Elon Musk, you know onto something. That said, I suspect Musk and Trump will patch things up in the next 24 to 48 hours. I also think Musk is going to continue to apply maximum pressure on Trump regarding this bill. Trump's going to continue to probably double down, so I'm not sure if there'll be much resolution there, but Musk is doing everything he possibly can. He really believes, rightly so, that if the US goes bankrupt, nothing else matters, and he's doing everything within his power to ensure that does not happen. One unintended side effect, unless, of course, Trump and Musk are playing 600,000 dimensional chess. How do all the gigatards who were told that Elon Musk is a Nazi because he supported Orange Man bad feel about Tesla now that Musk has publicly feuded with him? I suspect this will no doubt have shaken out a lot of weak hands from Tesla stock, again, right before Robotaxi's launch in June this month. But it's all noise. From a Tesla investor's point of view, this has absolutely no bearing on Tesla whatsoever. But hey, stock's 15% off today. Not complaining about that. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.